their business with the parties that have FTA with us to train them. So I think you see these are very important, and just make full use of the advantages that are provided by FTA. So this is one concerning the distance, and I think, of course, being a business, then sometimes we need to reduce the cost of doing business by doing business with the neighboring countries, with the countries not far from. Obviously, you see, it is successful. And in China case, and most of the business that China has done are with the neighboring countries. And in fact, Asia occupies over 55%, 56% of China's total trade overseas. So this really the case for many years nowadays, even though we are expanding our business with Africa and also with Latin America. But still, you see, it hasn't changed this phenomenon right now. Obviously, you see, companies are trying to do business with those nearby countries. Okay. So then, concerning the import efforts, and of course, we understand very well that you see, China is in a surplus situation overall with the world, but still, you see, we have a trade surplus with the United States, European countries. Then also we have a trade deficit with the neighboring countries, with the Asian countries. So, but anyhow, you see, personally, I think you see, to develop the economy is the most important. Maybe sometime we are in a surplus situation, and in the other time we are in an unfavorable situation. But still, you see, development is the most important. So even under these circumstances, and we've cooperated with some local governments in China by establishing so-called China Commodities, International Commodities Centers, which helps those countries or even companies who want to export their products to China by exhibiting their products in the permanent place. So I think the Shanghai International Commodities Center has been there for 3 years, and they are specialized in certain fields or areas, especially in the machine tools, then the medical appliance, and also wine, some agricultural products or something like that. So which are very good. I just to give you the case.
But before you go on, let me just, not to cut you, I don't mean to cut you, but I really wanted to hear from Morocco and their technical assistance programs, and if there was anything meaningful that you could bring from your experience, and then we'll come back to it. But
let me tell you first, just that show the statistics, the last statistics we have show that Moroccan exports for the 7 months have raised of 25% compared to the
so those programs were in
year,
fact
yes.
successful.
With ITC, we have been implementing specific programs to improve the local capacity in international management, and the last program is INACT program to help, is mainly a training program to help the Moroccan managers to have the capacitation in managing international affairs. Let me tell you that the key point for us to succeed in having good results is the first to formalize a contract program, public-private sector. It's very important. And
public-private sector partnerships?
Absolutely. With the commitments, concrete commitments. And all the programs I have talked about are contract programs with what results we have to achieve, what the means we have to put in, and every side have to realize its commitment.
Agreed.
In that, in the framework of our strategy, we have focused on 3 groups of exporters. We have the leading SMEs companies. the leading in exporting. For those, we devise a contract of growth. It's a concrete contract with a business plan from the company and the assisting from the government, financial and technical one. And the result to have to be achieved, because what we call quick wins programs. For the new ones who have to come into the community of the exporters, we devise training programs, intelligence. We provide with information about markets, and we help them to join the exporter community. And we have a goal to increase the basis of the Moroccan companies, 200 companies a year.
Okay.
And in the horizon of 2018.
Yes, that is pretty significant. I'm going to ask, before I give the panel one last question, because we really want to explore what is the role of a TSI moving forward. What lessons have been learned and what we can look forward to going forward in terms of how we respond to this crisis. But before I have them respond, I would love to hear from the audience whether there are any specific strategies that you think should be looked at in the context of how a TSI operates. All right, we'll go to my far left and then over to table 10.
So
Quickly.
basically, deficits in the sovereign countries are going up like anything. Credits are getting expanded. And the strategy is mostly followed is to expand credits in the world, which is not healthy in the long run. We have to develop savings much better than borrowings. Borrowings will destabilize sovereignties. There should be more and more savings in the world at large. That is my opinion. See,
Well taken.
Increasing the credits is only risky. In the process, what is happening is large hoarding is taking place in bank and tax havens, like $20 trillion. It is necessary that there should be a voluntary disclosure of the funds that were hoarded already there, so that they will come into the economy. Having a share between the public and private organizations, and increasing the savings rather than credits. Credits should be, as far as possible, should be reduced. And the percentage of the foreign direct investments of FFIs in GDP percentage should not be exceeding 10%. If it exceeds 10%, risk to the country will be high. This is my opinion, leaving to the judgment of the...
Very, very interesting. Table 10 had a comment also.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate everyone's comments, and it's been very enlightening to hear how new strategies have been developed in the wake of this crisis. My name is Chris Sandersfeld. I'm from a company called Tiger Trade in the United States. And following up on your comment about the going forward strategies, the one thing that I haven't heard yet so far are any sort of perhaps any new initiatives on e-commerce or technology-based platforms that allow barriers to entry to decrease and to facilitate new interactions and relationships. So I'm just curious if perhaps the panel might be able to talk a little about, in the context of the wrapping up, what, if any, application you see for e-commerce initiatives and technology-based platforms.
Very, very good question, and I ask also the panel to consider the issue of services as we wrap up. Ricardo, you had a quick comment or question? Over here. Can I have a mic over here?
Just a quick comment about imports, promoting imports. I think that it would be interesting for a TSI to promote imports for whatever assists the companies to export in a more competitive way. In other ways, to import technology, to promote the import of new technology, to promote